Hey everybody, it's me again, Cosmo the Coder, and welcome to what is basically the review of the extension of the Humble 2K Bundle 2. Because today, being the 26th of July 2016, there is no new bundle this week. Instead, there's just the extension to the 2K Bundle 2 that came out last week. Now, usually I don't do a video on this. Usually I just sort of leave it and let people make their own minds up. But I've got a few bits and pieces to say, so I'm actually going to sort of do that after I've looked at what the extension is. And, well, let's go have a quick look, shall we? So, straight off, it's basically 4 games that have been added to the bundle, which apparently has done quite well. Humble actually mentioned on their blog that they've already made $1 million for charity and everything out of that, well, $1 million out to the bundle. So that's a pretty cool figure to sort of reach, especially with a bundle that's quite, well, I have to say has been quite popular. But anyway, I digress. Let's move on and talk about what's been extended in the bundle. So basically 4 games. First up, we've got a game called Freedom Force. Now it's $2.99 on Steam currently, and it's quite, just to warn you, it's quite an old game. It was made in 2002, amazingly, so that makes it, sheesh, like 14 years old. And it's essentially a superhero real-time strategy game where you can pause it to sort of, you know, to decide your next route and everything, but it's still a real-time strategy game with sort of RPG elements, so you can actually sort of level up your characters and decide what kind of superpowers and things they have. The reviews aren't fantastic for this game, and the main reason is that because it's quite an old game, it has quite a lot of technical issues, but overall it's still fairly well received. It's 68% overall on Steam right now. It's 90% on Metacritic, so it's actually quite a good game in terms of what it is, but the fact is that there's quite a few technical issues which may hamper your playing of this game. So overall it's not too bad, you know. That's bad. Freedom Force: The Third Reich is basically the sequel to this game, and it was made 3 years later, so it's 2005. It has it's the same price as Freedom Force, $2.99. The reviews for this are a lot better because the technical issues are apparently not apparent in this version. A lot of them have been fixed from the previous game. So on Steam it's 87%. There's no Metacritic review. It wasn't available from what I could see. But it's essentially exactly the same game, just a sort of extension of it. Newer engine, well, better engine, better graphics, better sound, yada yada yada. Excuse me. XCOM Declassified is a fairly recent game that you should be aware of if you know anything about the XCOM and sort of what's been going on with it lately. It's basically a third-person tactical shooter game where you basically control a squad well, you basically control a squad, and you use a variety of weapons and tactics to take on alien invaders and basically deal with them in this sort of very XCOM sort of way. So it's kind of a bit different to how XCOM is used to be. Rather than sort of the turn-based tactical shooter that it is, it's more of a more free form, but it's still a very tactical shooter. It's $14.99 on Steam. Reviews unfortunately are quite not great for this. It's 57% recently, 67% overall, and 66% on Metacritic. General sort of problems with the game are basically some technical issues, the story not making any sense, the gameplay being rather difficult and rather annoying, that kind of general sort of feeling about it. It's not necessarily a bad game, it's just got a lot of issues in how it plays out and how you play the game. Still, it might be worth it just to go just to see what you think about it. Up to you. Finally, we've got I'm going to struggle to say this with my soft R, Railroad Tycoon 3. Essentially, it's a train management game. It's SimCity basically, but with trains, where you actually connect up the sort of different areas and locations and make a business out of it. And you know, it's got layers of complexity that I'm not even going to start going into. It's $5.99 on Steam. There is a general warning on the actual Steam page where it states that it's not compatible with Windows Vista or Windows 7. Again, it's quite an old game. I think it's about 2003, but that's just me off the top of my head trying to recall what I read. There are some issues with more modern systems. There are some solutions that may or may not work depending on your system. It seems to be sort of very hit and miss. But generally speaking, it's got some good reviews. It's 72% overall, 80% on Metacritic. Try it, see if it works. If it doesn't, then you haven't lost too much. So overall, I'm not going to change my score for the review for last week's review. I still think the bundle's quite good value. I'll change that. Is good value for money, because you're getting quite a lot of fairly good games for a lot less than you would actually expect. You would actually pay normally. Now, yeah, you could go to sites like G2A and get all the games fairly cheaply, but this is actually, in my opinion at least, more reliable, because you're getting Steam keys that are going to work and not be sort of cancelled out for any reason. And that essentially is it for the review. Now I'll actually stick on the end bit. There we go. Just so you have something fancy to watch whilst I whittle on about stuff and everything. So first of all, thanks for watching. If you want to see more stuff like this, like and subscribe, that kind of usual stuff, and check out my YouTube channel where I play a variety of different PC games, and that will be changing in sooner or later to do so with some Xbox One and some PlayStation 4, hopefully. But more about that later on. That's over there in the future. We'll deal with that later. Now, if you watched last week's video, I have nothing but a huge appreciation for you guys watching it, because looking at the stats right now, it is my review video last week is pretty much the highest Humble Bundle review video that I've done since I started doing this, and I think I started at the beginning of the year, pretty much, give or take a week or so. But basically, the only one that's actually beating it is a Humble non-bundle, Humble Bundle non-review, which was the CryEngine, the CryEngine assets thing that came out. Now, how on earth that works, I've got no idea. But seriously, the number of people who watched the video, the number of people who commented on the video and liked the video, it was huge compared to what I usually get in terms of viewers and viewership and whatever you want to call it. So again, I'm immensely appreciative of it, guys. Thank you very much for that. If you subscribed as well, quite a few people did subscribe again, and if you've watched this video, again, thank you very much, guys. I do appreciate that. I can't really say much more than that. At the end of the day, I'm not all about numbers. It's all, people can be saying, oh, I need more viewers, I need more subscribers, I need this and need that. And the fact that there's feedback coming back and people talking and asking questions and doing, all kinds of, liking. Yes, there are dislikes too, and people don't always tell me why they dislike it, but it is what it is. I'm not going to cry myself to sleep for any reason. But genuinely, I'm quite impressed. Let's put it that way. I didn't expect the numbers to come up as they have, and as always, I'm trying to make sure that I always say thank you to anyone and everyone who's watching. There's special thanks to, let's see, there's the usual sort of. There's been a few regulars that are coming in, so sort of Jasper B, Power Play asked some questions, Martin Lopez. I've been talking to someone called the Absolute Bonbon, who talked to me on Steam earlier today. That's just a handful of people. If I didn't mention your name, it's not because I didn't want to. It's just because I'm just scrolling through stuff on my right over here and just reading random names as they come to my attention. But genuinely, thank you very much, guys. I know I've said that already. I'm going to try and move on. Like I said, I'm just astounded. It's been nice to see a lot of people sort of ask questions and give feedback, and I'm always happy to answer any questions. Not that I'm an expert in this sort of stuff, but hey, what do you know? Just a reminder that next Friday, the 5th of August, is Humble Monthly, and I will be reviewing it on August 6th. Did I say August 5th or April 5th? I keep getting in the middle. Yeah, August 5th. It comes out August 6th. Should be my review of that. Fingers crossed. Otherwise, I will see you hopefully next week for another Humble Bundle, if they decide to do one. If not, then I'll see you whenever I see you. Thanks for watching, guys, again. Happy gaming, and I'll see you later.